Hey boys and girls, it's me Bree here with Destiny Kids, and before we jump into our episode, I want to give a huge thank you to everyone who makes Destiny Kids possible through your donations. We are so appreciative of you, and if I could give you a big hug, I totally would. And if you would like to continue to support Destiny Kids, make sure that you follow the link below, and let's go see what's coming up next. We are going to have a total blast today, and of course, we are kicking it off with our Wacky Fact, so let's go see what it is. For today's Wacky Fact, did you know that a shark has 0 bones in their body? They're made out of full cartilage. And did you also know that fish cough underwater? Have you ever tried to do that? Don't try it, but it's basically impossible for us humans. But a fish, they cough underwater to clear out their gills from all kind of bacteria and stuff that gets stuck in there. So if you ever see a fish trying to cough, well, just know they're just wiping out their gills. Man, that is wacky. Let's go check out our Bible lesson. For today's Bible lesson, we are learning about a really interesting dude. His name was Zaccheus. Yes, Zaccheus was his name. And it all starts in a town called Jericho. And what happens is Zaccheus was a really famous guy in this town called Jericho. And he was so famous and everyone knew him and he had a lot of money. But he wasn't famous for all the right reasons. He was famous for all the wrong reasons. Yeah, but he was so famous that he had probably a really big house and he probably drove a Lamborghini or something really nice. But back in those days, it was probably just a really fancy donkey, but hey, it was the top of the line donkey, right? So Zaccheus, he was not nice to a lot of people, but we'll figure out what happens later. So, word got around town that Jesus was coming through Jericho to go to another town. And so he was gonna stop by and see all the people. Well, of course, Jesus was famous as well. Everyone knew who he was. And Jesus was famous for all the right reasons. He was so kind and personable, which means everyone could kind of relate to him. He wanted to be near the people. And Zaccheus, well, that just wasn't the case for him. But Jesus was coming through Jericho. So people start lining the streets like crazy, and it got really crowded. Well, Zaccheus went to go see what all the commotion was about. He wanted to see Jesus as well. And so Zaccheus went in there. But the interesting fact about Zaccheus is he was really short. Now, there's nothing wrong with being short, but he was really short. So you're in a crowd full of all these people who are kind of taller than you. And of course, Zaccheus couldn't see. So Zaccheus, he came up with this great idea. He's like, well, I can't see over all these people, so I'm gonna climb a tree. So Zaccheus, he finds a big tree in the middle of this crowd and he starts to climb it. And so he's up there in the tree and Jesus comes to town and he's riding it and he's waving at all the people and he's hugging all the people and loving on all the people. And Zaccheus catches Jesus's eye. And Jesus is like, who is that in that tree? Man, is that Zaccheus? Well, I need to talk to that guy who climbed the tree. And so again, Zaccheus was famous, but he was famous for all the wrong reasons. He was a tax collector, and so he cheated people out of their money, and people just didn't like him, but everyone knew him. And so Zaccheus was not liked amongst all those people that were gathered around. So Jesus sees Zaccheus and he's interested, he's curious. And so he says, Zaccheus, come down from that tree. And everybody's like, oh, you're about to get in trouble with Jesus. He knows what you did. And so everyone's they're just on the verge and they're just waiting to see what Jesus says to Zaccheus. And so they're all expecting for Zaccheus to get in trouble, but Jesus says, hey, Zaccheus, come down from that tree. I'm gonna go to your house and we're gonna have dinner. And everyone was like, what? We're gonna have dinner? They're gonna have dinner? Oh my goodness. why, right? There was a huge, big question amongst all the people. Why Zaccheus, of all people, who's famous for all the wrong reasons, gets to have dinner with Jesus, who's famous for all the right reasons. But Jesus had a plan. So they went to Zaccheus' house and they had dinner, and man, they just pulled out the whole feast. They probably had steak and lobster and all kind of stuff, right? And so he spent time with Zaccheus. By the end of the dinner, y'all, listen, by the end of the dinner, Zaccheus has a change of heart, and he decides to give all the people that he cheated out of their money 4 times back the amount of money he cheated them out of. And all of that happened because he spent time with Jesus. Now, none of us know what conversations happened, but all we know is that they spent time together. So in life, if we just spend time with Jesus, he can turn all the stuff that's in us that's not supposed to be there, or the stuff that we struggle with, to not be nice to people or not make all the right decisions. The more time we spend with him, oh man, the more times and the more chances we get to have a huge heart change for the better. So I encourage you, be like Zaccheus, not in the weird, famous, wrong way, right? But be like Zaccheus and spend time with Jesus and look forward to your heart being changed too. Mine was, because I spend time with Jesus all the time. So you can do it too. We are about to do our crazy craft, and it's kind of like another Be Kind challenge. So make sure that you gather all your supplies, and I'll see you as we jump into our crazy craft. We are going to start our crazy craft, and it kind of doubles as a Be Kind challenge. We are decorating special rocks with really cool Be Kind messages that are gonna spread kindness to whoever finds them. And when we're done decorating them, we let them dry, and then we can go hide them in a park or hide them somewhere. And so whoever finds it will feel kindness from someone. So let's jump in, find out what we need, and start decorating. So we need some rocks, we need paint brushes, paint. I have a palette in case you want to take off extra paint, and of course paper towels in case you get it on your fingers. So let's go ahead and start our challenge. So there we have it. We have decorated our rocks. Once you get done, you're just gonna let them dry, and then again, you go into a park with mom or dad or someone that you know, and all you do is you hide them, and then someone finds them, and you have done the challenge. You've spread kindness. So go spread some kindness. I hope you had a total blast today. I know that I did. And if you want to tell me about your whole day and what you really liked about this episode, make sure that you send me an email with Mom and Dad's help to talktobree@destinykids.tv. And the coolest thing is I get to talk right back to you, and we can totally be friends. And if you want to see more videos just like this one, make sure that you like, share, subscribe, hit all the buttons, and I'll see you next time right here on Destiny Kids.